人命救助ソニックチーム最新作近未来レスキューアクションバーニングレンジャーセガサタ
Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed is a game full of references to Sega's history, but one of the deepest cuts has got to be the stage Burning Depths, a stage based on the Saturn game Burning Rangers. I was completely unaware of this game's existence until I played this stage, and a lot of people I knew were unaware of what this game was as well. It is an old game for the Sega Saturn, which was a commercial failure, and even at that the game has never been ported, and even sometimes just referenced in obscure places. The game itself is a passion project developed by Sonic Team. It's a third-person shooter action game. If I had to compare it to something less obscure, I'd say it's more along the lines of Mega Man Legends. The playable character can do a double jump and a glide, but sometimes if you walk towards small gaps and edges, they'll do an auto jump. They also have a gun blaster they can charge up to get rid of fires, but you only need to charge it up for blue fires and certain enemies. Don't use a charge shot for everything, I'll get to that later. The main goal of each level is to clear objectives given to you by the voice navigation. Along the way you can pick up crystals, which are used as fuel to save survivors, but most importantly for your health. Yeah, the health functions like rings from the Sonic games, where if you get hit once, they pop out of you, and if you're caught without one, you're a dead man. Or woman. You can choose between the two, that's also a feature. The main game is only 4 levels long, so overall it's a pretty short playthrough. At the end of each level is a boss fight. I enjoy all these boss battles, I think they're all fun and unique. And before each level is a brief anime cutscene. These are nothing special, but it's nice to have them. Also, the game has little to no music in the levels, which does help the immersion. The gameplay never feels too quiet since all the focus is on the sound effects and the navigation system. But I really do enjoy the music it does have. Angel Burning Hearts and We Are Burning Rangers are probably my favorite jazz songs that come out of Sega.
Chris to all Rangers. The energy core temperature is reaching dangerous levels. Reports confirm that workers are still trapped inside. Rangers report to the emergency staging area for immediate transport. Tillis and Big, take point and contain the spread of the fire for the rescue team.
Roger!
Show and Reed proceed to the control room located underground in basement level number 1.
Roger!
The first mission is a simple and linear run through in a factory. Just get from point A to point B, running through doors and looking for switches to unlock more doors to run through. At certain points in the level, the power goes out. This doesn't really do much except make things a little hard to see, but I was able to navigate my way to the switch pretty easily. I like this level. I think it's a well-designed opening to the game.
Chris to all Rangers, a fire has been reported at Ocean Park in New Zealand. Cause is unknown. The facility's evacuation system is down. About 30 people are still trapped inside. Our mission is to rescue them. Got it?
Roger!
The second level is a water level. This level has sections where you swim through some of the tanks to get to other parts of the level. The swimming controls actually feel pretty fine, and the level looks good aesthetically. I mean, that's some good looking water for the Sega Saturn. I feel like this is the most memorable level of the game, which is most likely why it was made into a racetrack in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
This is Quadrant T119, Sector RK404. Crews are working on Firebird. Can you hear me? That's strange. There's no response.
What's the point of waiting here? Let's go investigate.
Let's do this.
Okay. Reed and Tillis, I want you two to enter from the main dock. Big and Show, enter from the starboard port.
Roger!
The third mission takes place in some kind of space station. Honestly, this is where the game's problems become more noticeable. This level contains a bit more platforming than the other levels. There's these zero gravity sections that feel weird and finicky to control, but at least they're brief and there's only a few of them. They have these robot enemies that block your path and take like 4 charge shots to kill. It's pretty tedious and annoying. At the end of the level, you have to carry this kid through a bunch of explosions, and if you get hit once, you die. And if you run out of continues, you have to start the whole level over. You know what? While I'm at it, I'm just gonna explain all the flaws of this game. First thing I want to mention is the control feels okay for a 3D game. It might be a bit better on the Saturn 3D controller, but I don't own one. So I'm going off the feel of a basic Saturn controller.
Before an explosion occurs, you'll hear a whistling sound. If you press down on the D-pad before the explosion, you will automatically avoid the blast.
Before an explosion, you need to hold down the D-pad to dodge it in time. I'll give it that it works most of the time, but sometimes it just doesn't seem to register and leaves you taking a hit. Speaking of explosions, this game really goes overboard with them. There's a limit percentage at the top right corner of the screen for if the fires in the level get too bad. If it gets to 100% or close to it, everything explodes. Look at this! I'd rather have the game just kill me than have explosions chase me throughout most of the level. This is just annoying. Sometimes it's not even a percentage. In some sections of the levels, explosions just chase you anyway. Why are there so many explosions? Like I mentioned before, the health works like the rings in the Sonic series. This just doesn't work for an action game. If you get hit, all your crystals scatter, and chasing after my health really isn't what I call fun. You can get more crystals by shooting fires, but any fire you hit with a charge blast, you don't earn any crystals at all. In fact, the charge shot destroys the crystals. Yes, your charge attack can destroy the thing that is your health, the fuel to transport survivors, and the collectible score for your final rank. So if you get hit by a fire or enemy that requires a charge shot, you'll destroy the crystals that you just lost, leaving you with no health. This is stupid. I should be making major bank for hitting everything with a charge shot. This is the most major flaw of the game.
This is Show.
Go right.
Instead of a map, the game used a navigation system. That is helpful and does work most of the time, but there are some instances where it's either too vague on where to go, or the navigation just doesn't know which direction I'm facing. I can get that Sonic Team wanted to be innovative, but I think the game would have worked better if there was just a map.
Come in, Chris. It's not working. What happened outside? I need to get out of here first then.
Watch out!
Whoa! That voice again.
Stay alert.
Alright, so the final level starts off pretty straightforward. Just get from point A to point B, jump a few platforms, get through a swimming section, and run under a couple of rocks. But then after that is the most frustrating level of the game. You have to platform on a super narrow path, and here is where the controls feel really uncomfortable. If you're not careful while jumping, you can accidentally do an air dash and fall off. Sometimes you can actually do a side jump and fall off. Remember how I said there was an auto jump earlier? Well, if you get near any edge of the platform, your character will automatically jump forward. When you grab a ledge and jump up, the character will overshoot and fall off. And on top of all that, you have to work with this prehistoric camera, which you control with the L and R button, and this prehistoric draw distance. The whole section is vertical, so even if you get high enough, you'll have to platform all the way back up if you fall. Oh yeah, and the ground is lava. If you touch it, you lose all your rings, so you have to chase him down before your invincibility runs out. I was seriously ready to just quit here. This is honestly the worst part of the game. But after you beat that, there's a mini boss. You just shoot at it. Don't move. Just stand there and shoot at it. A space shooter section that doesn't really control well, but it's brief. One last simple platforming section, and then finally the final boss. With the first phase feeling like it's something out of Sonic, and the second phase feeling like it's something out of Knights. So yeah, this is definitely a Sonic Team game. Burning Rangers is ahead of its time, and I never thought I'd use that term in a negative way. I do like the overall concept of this game and some parts of the gameplay, but the game is so aged and is functionally difficult to go back to. And I do wish it was built for a better console with more buttons, analog sticks, and better graphics. It's also hard to recommend considering a copy of the game in English goes for over $500. Heck, even a Japanese copy is overpriced. My copy of the game is on a burnt disc because this game is not worth skipping rent. If you are interested, I recommend either having this game emulated or hacking a Sega Saturn if you have one. Even with that being said, I don't think this game needs to be ported to modern consoles. It should either be remade from the ground up or have a sequel or a successor. Fire! I feel like I was slipping up on that word in the review. But anyway, thank you for watching the review of Burning Rangers. I was always looking forward to playing this game ever since the Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed awakened me to this game. And you know, I never had the money to get it because it was always expensive from the moment I found out it existed. And it's like, when I finally hacked my Sega Saturn, that was the first game I burnt, and I was so excited to play it. And I finally played it, and it's like, you know, it's half good, half frustrating. But I'm kind of glad I had the experience anyway. But yeah, you know, Burning Ranger is pretty much a fireman with a gun. Japan is always doing some creative stuff with firemen. There's Promare, and then there's Fire Force. There's probably other stuff I'm missing. But, like, you know, firemen are cool in Japan, apparently. Japanese fiction. Yeah, but I hope this franchise comes back someday with something better. Like, I know a lot of people would want this game to be ported, but, like, it needs to be fixed up a lot. It would need to be, like, completely remastered. But yeah, thank you for watching the review, and until next time, logging out, everybody.